Hey people, Uncle Roddus back here again at the start of November 2024, and work's definitely picked up again, and um, that means that my self-control goes out the window when there's a bit more cash coming in, and picking up a few records. Actually, uh, really, I'm really so far behind on all the New Zealand releases because there's just too many now. You can't buy them all, so two pressing plants happening in the country and lots of reissues and lots of cool stuff coming out. But yeah, I'm picking up the odd stuff, which will lead into my first one that's turned up. Finally jumped on this. I don't have a lot of New Zealand rap music, and I'm not familiar with a lot of it, although I know a few of the names in there. And a lot of it didn't come out on vinyl because it was released in the 90s, late 90s and 2000s. And so it was only released on CD pretty much. So Damn Native, this is their only, no, it's not their only LP, but this was their first album, and it was came out in 92 or 97. Shit, can't remember now. Actually, it must be 97. I think the band formed in 92, and they did under a different name and blah blah blah. Anyway, this is considered a classic, an absolute classic New Zealand rap record. Again, like I say, I'm not hugely familiar with the rap scene in New Zealand. Only well, a little bit. I mean, I know some of the things, and I've picked up a few records recently of the rap stuff, like the homebrew stuff. This is released on this purple marble LP vinyl. Yeah, excuse me. I'm all hay fevery. Been out in the garden all day today planting the veggies ready for the growing season, the new growing season. Garden's looking beautiful. So yeah, this is. I've only played it once, just arrived a couple of days ago. Really impressed. It is very cool. Very cool. So pleased to have that, and wouldn't mind seeing a few more reissues of classic or the great New Zealand rap stuff, the ones that are rated highly, like Scribe and Chifu T. I can't even remember how to pronounce his name. So anyway, I also jumped on this one here, which it's been out for a little while, but originally you could only get it on import or through the Bandcamp from the USA. It's actually out on Grapefruit Records, but this is the Builders, Bill Irene. Now, interesting that he's put out a record under the Builders moniker, because I actually went to a gig maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, where Bill played with the Builders and was kind of billed as a retirement gig, and that was the end of it. He's not a young man anymore, and he does sound quite fragile on some of these songs, actually. Although I think he's 67 now, so he's about 10 years older than me. So he's not ancient, but he's certainly scaled it back. But this is a record that was recorded in New Zealand, Tennessee, and British Columbia, and the people that are playing on it aren't names that I'm familiar with, who usually play under the Builders moniker. This is the Bilders as opposed to the normal spelling of Builders, which he also has released records under that title and a few other slightly different variations. But this is classic Bill Irene. It's a fantastic record. Like I say, his vocals are sounding a little bit more wobbly nowadays than they have been in the past in places. But musically, again, typical Bill, it's stunningly musical, and he's a poet, so the lyrics are very poetical. And another one I picked up just recently. This came up on Rattle Records. This is by a fella called David Long. This is his second LP out on Rattle in the last couple of years. This is very different, and it's fucking good. It's really good. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, it's got a bit of everything. There's a bit of jazz and a bit of indie and a bit of poppy sort of stuff. So there's some nice melody. There are some lyrics and stuff on it. There's quite a big lineup of musicians on it. This is the red vinyl it came out on. I think it's a limited edition of about... No, I don't know. Actually, I think the Dyrene record was a limited edition of 300 off on Grapefruit out of the state. I picked it up here at one of the local shops finally for a reasonable price because it was like going to be like $90-something. So I definitely picked it up about $20 cheaper than that through one of the local shops finally. So David Long has been in the New Zealand music scene for a good 40 odd years. Plus he played in the Mutton Birds with Don McGlashan for a period of time, and he also was one of the founding members of the Braille Collective back in the 80s and early 90s, who are a very eclectic and unique bunch of musicians who put out music under various different names, like Rabbit Lock and Primitive Art Group and those sort of things, and he was involved with a lot of those. This is slightly more accessible than those were to my ears, but yeah, really good. First album that he put out also, Ash and Bone, I think it was called, on Rattle. Very, very limited edition, although in saying that, nobody buys this stuff. It's beautiful music, but no one knows about it. No one buys it. Rattle are a really good label, mostly put out CDs, mostly jazz, some classical. They're kind of like the ECM of New Zealand. Their CDs are really well packaged. They don't go into vinyl too much. Interesting thing was that I got this through their Bandcamp page, I think. Yeah, pretty much directly from them, I'm sure. And it turned up with a complimentary copy of the previous album, which I've actually already got. So I've got 2 copies of it now. I shall liberate that to somebody who deserves it, or take it in and trade it at Penny Lane or something. Still, highly recommended music. Absolutely stunning music. Really, really accomplished, well recorded. Very, very good. Okay. Slowly in dribs and drabs. Slowly in dribs and drabs have been coming in. I ordered through Fish Pond, nearly 5 weeks ago now. A couple of lots of records. And the second lot I ordered was a whole bunch of those King Gizzard records, which I showed in my last video. But also ordered a few others, which have slowly turned up. And you've seen those in previous videos. But the last one, not the last one to arrive, still got a couple more I'm waiting on. One of them I know is in the mail. The other one I don't know. They said they're having trouble sourcing it. So whether it's going to show up or not, I don't know. But this one, I saw the review of this in one of the uncut magazines that my wife brought home from the library from last year. And I absolutely love this label, Analog Africa. This is their... I think it's their 38th release, but I don't know why it says AALP 098. It does say that. But Analog Africa number 38 is the actual number of releases that they have. So I'm not sure what the AALP 98 means. I'm not sure about that. That's like 60 digits difference. Anyway, double LP of Congo Funk. I love this. This is really cool. The old record sleeves and the inside cover look pretty damn good. I've just played it once. Sounds pretty cool, as to expect. I mean, I love this label. I wish I had everything. This is about the 3rd one I've purchased on vinyl. They're not cheap to get here, to be honest. I did pick this one up for a reasonable price through that Fish Pond. Unfortunately, getting them directly from the band camp thingy is kind of like the albums are priced okay. It's the fucking postage to get them here from the UK. Saying that, if you buy a whole bunch of them together, I think hopefully you'd save a bit on the postage. And I haven't tried that. But I would really love to have and I've got probably half a dozen of these comps also on CD, maybe about 8 of them actually on CD, which is how I got into them first before I started collecting vinyl. Now I got on to there's that complimentary copy of David Long's Ash and Bone LP, still in shrink wrap. I haven't actually bothered to open it yet. because I already have a copy of it. There's a shop in the North Island. It's a physical record shop, but they have an online presence and a shop, and they have quite an extensive collection of sale items, and I guess a lot of those sale items are items that have been sitting in the shop for a long time and haven't managed to sell. But they've actually got one of the best catalogues of on sale stuff. I mean, Flying Out has quite a big catalogue of on sale stuff that they discount because they're not been able to sell it. But the international releases they might discount by $10 to $15. But this outfit's, I mean, they're selling a lot of records for around $30 to $40. Some of them bought more for $40 to $50. They're really good discounts, and to be honest, the stuff that they're selling that's been sitting there is quite interesting. And I've got another package coming from them very soon. But I had a look through, and they had a bunch of Blue Notes on sale for like $35 to $40. And so, you know, that's when I will jump on them. So I picked up several Blue Notes through them. So Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, Mosaic. This is a 1961 LP. Not one of the better ones I've heard from. I mean, it's a good LP. It's not as good as the last one I showed of him that I picked up, which was a really, really good LP. But yeah, like I say, Blue Notes, you know, I collect Blue Notes, so I'll pick these up. So that's one of the 80th. These are all like the classic album series, not No Tone Poets here. So the Johnny Griffin, Chicago Calling from 1956. So this is quite an early one. Johnny Griffin, Wynton Kelly, Curly Russell, and Max Roach. So yeah, I actually, you know, picked up a few of these. I've had to listen to them all, and they're not all absolute fantastic classics, but they're nice jazz, good jazz, you know, good stuff. And it's Blue Note, and like I say, you can't go wrong, really. Dizzy Reese, Star Bright. Was this his first LP? He's with Hank Mobley, Wynton Kelly again, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. This one was in 1959 originally. But they are such good reissues, these Blue Notes. They are such a classic label, and they've got so many good jazz records. Geez, I did pretty well out of these lot, didn't I? I picked up a few. Johnny Coles, Little Johnny C. Joe Henderson's on this, and Duke Pearson. Duke Pearson's, I showed his. They put out a tone poet of one of his, so I've got that. Pete LaRocca on the drums. Yeah. So some good names on that one too. But like I say, these are nice, good. They're pretty straight ahead jazz records. They're all pretty cool, but they're nothing like they're not startling or anything like that. But they're all pretty good. This is probably the earliest recordings of the lot. So Fats Navarro. This is a 1957 compilation, but the records. This is volume 1, from what I can gather. Yeah, BLP 1531. So there were two volumes of this put out in 1957. This is volume 1. They were taken from 78, so they were recorded around about 1947-48. So this is really early-ish bebop, and generally the pre-1950s stuff, you know, with the early Parker and Gillespie, I'm not that into it, to be honest. I'm not really into it. I'm into the bebop, hard bop, and this is, you know, some of the sounds that came later after that. Yeah, for me, jazz, I don't really go for swing too much. I'm not really into the Dixieland, although, I mean, obviously early Armstrongs are pretty cool stuff, but the recordings are so old and primitive that I struggle with them nowadays. With, you know, I'm into pretty high fidelity, so yeah. I was surprised how much I enjoyed this. It was actually really good. I really did enjoy it, so I'm pleased about that. Pretty cool. One more jazz, one more Blue Note to go. Kenny Dorham. Trumpeter Toccata. Joe Henderson again on this one. Another 3 names I don't really know. Who Richard Davis, Albert Heath, Tommy Flanagan. I think I've heard him before. This was originally released in 1964. Again, another classic album series reissue. And finally, obviously, it's getting through these pretty quickly. They had, so like I say, they were all from this place called Vinyl Countdown, and like I say, their shops, they're not in a big town. They're in New Plymouth, and that's not a big city. I mean, it's a city in New Zealand, but it's probably 100,000 people, maybe less or more, but more. Okay, wouldn't be 200. I don't know. I have been there many years ago, at the foot of Mount Taranaki. So I showed a video earlier in the year where I picked up some more of their on sale stuff, and I got like Car Wheels on a Gravel Road by Lucinda Williams, and I got The Damned, and I got some really good stuff, like that. And then I'm back again a few months later, and I'm picking up other really good stuff. And I picked up this one, and this is the 50th anniversary issue. It's the 2LP audio file, 45 RPM, 180 gram edition. The analog cut from the original master tape mastered by Chris Bellman at the Bernie Grundman Lab. Overnight Sensation. In the notes in this, it talks about how this was a really pivotal release for Zappa. It really put him, it sold quite well. This and Apostrophe, which came after it, which is actually, that's also had a reissue, and I'm waiting for it to turn up, actually. I've got it ordered. This album, musically, is fantastic. Lyrically, yeah, I used to like it more than I do, the lyrical part of it. But the musical, the band arrangements, the playing is fantastic, as usual with Zappa. But, some of the songs on this are pretty sleazy. Of course, the, what was it called? My Dirty Love, of course, and Dynamo Hum, yeah. But, yeah, so 45 RPM double LP, which is a pain in the fucking ass because you have to get up every 6 to 8 minutes is all you're getting on each side. So I probably could have done without that, but I picked it up cheap, and it sounds stunning. It absolutely does. Just about all these releases, these Zappa record releases, these current remasters by Bernie or what's his name, Chris Bellman. The ones that just about all of them I've got sound absolutely beautiful. I mean, I put this on and it's pretty jaw-dropping quality. Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, really, really pleased to get that. And like I say, I have got Apostrophe on the way. Apostrophe that's the album. That is a much better album than this. I mean, that was one of the ones that I picked up on earlier on when I first discovered Zappa and excuse me, hay fever settling in. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was the one of the very first albums I brought. And of course, I showed you the Freak Out album, which I just picked up recently. The other video, maybe my last video. I would love to get hold of a Grundman remaster of that. There is one available in New Zealand, but it's like $120. And so, yeah, unfortunately, that one there hasn't turned up very often on special. So, anyway, that's me, and I've got like a whole bunch more coming, which should probably be here tomorrow from that Vinyl Countdown, which I picked up on sale. And they've still got quite a lot in their sale bins that I wouldn't mind getting my hands on, and I might raid them again over the next couple of weeks once the funds become available. All right, look, I'll stop prattling on and let you get back to your day, so catch you next time.